Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine, I hope you're all safe, and I hope you all had a great game week, everyone. I welcome you all to the live stream. Thank you so much for being here, Dan, Raghav, Sully, Liam, Jeet, Yash, Raja. Thank you, everyone. Let's get the stream started, guys. And what better to start the stream with rather than talking about my free hit team and how many points I got? Well, my word, it was a very bad game week to kind of free hit, guys, because this was technically the lowest points total. I mean, the highest points for game week 18 was the lowest of all the game weeks. I mean, the best, the FPL manager who did the best in this game week got 86 points. 86, guys. That's the highest score in game week 18. My word, that was like the team of the week, guys. Just three players, maybe four, including Gaeta, got double-digit scores. I mean, the team of the week is got 8 points. Like Kane got 8, Cavaliero, Iwobi, Zinchenko, Bellerin, Mitchell, they all got 8 points. Ampadu got 9, and then Keane, Foden, and Pogba and Gaeta got double digits. What a bad game week to use my free hit and such a low scoring game week. But looking on the positive side, guys, Kieran Tierney didn't play, so I was lucky enough that I got Mitchell points off the bench. So there's always a bright side to look at things, and that's how we should be doing it. Also, I would like to tell you that if I did not use my free hit, if you look at my team, guys, then you'll realize that my free hit wasn't that bad, right? So this is the team I would have got if I hadn't free hit. Or in fact, I should show you my team for game week. Yeah. So this is the team I would have had if I hadn't used my free hit, guys. So probably it's not that bad, right? Hey Jug, hey Dakla, welcome, guys. I hope you all had a great game week. So let's have some good scores, guys. How many did you get? Dan said I got 44. He says that's pretty much above the average, Dan, considering how bad the average was this game week. So average was 30, guys. 30 points average. My word, did blow my free hit, didn't I? Just feel like I did. Raghav says 43. Well, that's still decent. Dakla says 52. Yash says 53. Fadzali says I got 32 with 7 players. Well, that's pretty good, my friend. I agree with that. That's not really bad. Sally says 48. Waka says 54. I guess that should be, everybody who used free hit should be around 45 to 55 should be the range in which your points should be lying. So David says 49, Sid says 50, Jitarve says 55. That's nice. Juggernaut says 57. That's very nice, Jug. Your first free hit and you did pretty well. Raja says 43 and waste of a free hit. Well, sometimes, Raja, nobody could have called it, my friend. We didn't know that this was gonna be the lowest scoring game week of the season. So, sometimes these things happen and we just need to, take them in our stride and kind of move on. Yash says 53 but got the wrong captain, Bruno Fernandes. Didn't I get the wrong captain, my friend? I did, innit? My word. I was so angry. Why did Kevin De Bruyne let Sterling take the penalty? I mean, he could have got he got 6 points, right? If he had scored a goal, 11, that would have meant 3 bonus, means 14, and I would have got 28 points out of De Bruyne. Alright, he didn't want to take the penalty, he wanted it to give to Sterling, he would have got the assist if Sterling would have scored. The worst possible outcome was for Sterling to miss the penalty, guys, and that's what exactly happened. My word, what a bad game week, Yash says 53. Vagas says, should I have brought Cresswell in my team? I guess so. Subra says rate my wildcard team for Gameweek 19. Yeah, we're gonna come to that, my friend. Yes says Regulon, Maguire, Stones, Leno work perfectly. Yeah, agree, my friend. Liam says my predicted points are 101. My god. And this game week was just insane, right? It's just that it was a bad time for us who free hit, that was the problem. Fadzali says, should I double up on the City defense or get one West Ham defender for the fifth midfielder? Who would you choose between Foden, Mount, Barnes, and Bowen? Right, guys, so before I answer Fadzali, before I start answering your questions, I'd just like to go through my team and let's get it over with. I'll just take a couple of minutes. So guys, I had a couple of decisions to make on my free hit, and I just want to tell you about that so that you know that which way this could have gone. I almost had De Gea in my team, right? And even on my live stream, you all know that I was asking whether I should put Saiz in my team or should I put Aaron Wan-Bissaka, because I wanted to double up on United. In the end, since I've been burned earlier by the transfers that I make on live streams, I decided against it. I said no, I'm not gonna do it. Well, this time I was burned the other way around, guys. I don't know how to win at this, by the way, guys. When I don't make a transfer on the live stream, it hurts me. When I make a live transfer, it hurts me. I should just stop doing transfers altogether. That way I should be fine, right? But yeah, I wanted Wan-Bissaka, but I went for Saiz. Again, a wrong decision. Then who else? Yeah, I possibly I wanted to a couple of decisions that I went with. They just went the other way. I could have had around 60 points, but otherwise Stones did well. I expected him to. De Bruyne could have had a haul, didn't. Raheem Sterling came to everybody's rescue who hadn't captained De Bruyne. Gundogan didn't look too good, but I took a punt on him. It was either him or Bukayo Saka, and both of them got the same amount of points, so nothing much to talk about here. Bruno Fernandes, disappointment, but doesn't affect me much because everybody owns him practically anyway. Son hit the post, he hit the post. He could have scored, but didn't have a good game in general. He didn't. Kane scored a goal, but again, other than the goal, he was pretty much anonymous as well. Wilson was probably, I was looking at him as a differential like Saiz, but Fraser got sent off for 2 silly yellow cards, and then Wilson's returns were restricted, and my last hopes lied on Lacazette and Tierney. Tierney was not even in the squad, guys. And Lacazette, well, it wasn't to be Arsenal's day. Crystal Palace were resolute, they defended well, and thankfully, guys, since Tierney didn't play, I got Mitchell from my bench. Imagine having your highest scoring player in the team come off the bench for Kieran Tierney. Yes, that is the fate of my free hit, my friends. Just have to live with it. Sometimes these things happen, and I'm living with that. But yeah, anyways, so this was about my team, guys. 49 points. Overall rank is improving bit by bit, game week by game week. So it's close to 170k now, or maybe 180k, around that mark, right? Let me check for you. Just I don't want to be it's around 180k. So not disappointed. I wanted it to be higher after the free hit. It was on 200k, and now it's on around 180k. So it's a rank rise of about 20k places. Not much considering how it could have gone better, but I'll take it. Honestly, I'll just take it because sometimes these things happen. We cannot keep dwelling on this, guys. All right, so this was all about my team and how it did, and now let's go ahead and answer your questions, guys. That's what I'm here for. I'll talk to you about my team. I'll talk to you about how I'm thinking about the double game week, what I'm gonna do, Right, so I know I've got lots of questions, guys, and let's get started. Shopnan says, have NASA found Sterling's penalty ball? My word, guys. I mean, when Sterling was standing there, he was about to take the penalty. The first thing that came to mind was Sterling owns Sanchez, the Brighton keeper, in his FPL team. And I know he doesn't want him to save the penalty because Sanchez is going to get save points. So Sterling thought, I'm going to smash it to the moon and back, guys, so that Sanchez would not get any save points. And that's what he did, guys. That's what he did. And my word, what a bad penalty it was. Yeah, so Sim says 42 points without Tierney or a replacement. Well, my friend, sometimes these things happen, right? This was a bad game week. To free hit because the overall score was low. The average was so low. That's the problem. Fudzali says, I have Bruno, Rashford, Son, KDB, looking for a fifth midfielder. Well, I honestly feel that if you're looking for a fifth midfielder, my friend, you should go for Souček. Because, as a fifth midfielder, either Bukayo Saka or Souček, they just seem to be the perfect options. I wouldn't look at anybody else other than Saka or Souček. George Lyle says, smash the likes, guys. Thank you so much, George. Guys, please like the stream. We've got 33 people watching and we've got 14 likes. Let's take the likes up to 20. So I'd really appreciate that. Yash says, Sterling skied the penalty to the other side of Manchester. Pretty much, my friend. David Pereira says, triple captain De Bruyne. Well, yeah, this is an interesting one. So let's move on to Gameweek 19 now. Having discussed not too much about my team, but I just wanted to give you a brief review of how my team did. Now, so this is my team, and let me tell you a little bit about my strategy, and I'm going to answer your question, David. So if you're not bench boosting, right? If you're not using your bench boost chip, this doesn't seem to be a bad game week to use your triple captain. The reason why I say that is there's gonna be another double game week in game week 26. It's gonna be a big double game week as well. So you can use one of your chips then as well. So it's not important that you use any chip right now. For me, what I'm thinking about here right now is that if I don't use my bench boost chip with this team. Now let me show you how many single game week players I have before I let me put them all on the bench. Maybe I have more than that. Let me put Johnston in my team. So McCarthy has a single game week. Dallas, Balbuena doesn't play at all. He's gonna get transferred out anyway. So he's gonna go for somebody like Stones. So I'm gonna talk to you about my transfer plan a little bit because I haven't made up my mind completely yet. But I've got Kane, I've got Bamford, I've got Son, and I've got McCarthy, and I've got Dallas. So that makes it 5 single game week players for me in my team, right? And I still want to bench boost. I'll tell you the reason, guys. And the reason why I think I want to bench boost is very simple. I still have 4 playing players on my bench. Ignore Balbuena. He's gonna become maybe John Stones, maybe Diaz, depending on what budget I have. But the 2 players that I want for game week 19, which I don't have in my team right now, is either 2 City defenders or maybe De Bruyne and a City defender. I haven't made up my mind which one I'm gonna go with yet, but that is kind of the strategy. I would love to have Antonio, but that would make mean taking a -8, and I feel -8 is too much. It is just too much for my team, and I don't want to take a -8, so I'm not going there at the moment. But basically, what I just want to tell you is that why I'm planning or thinking about using my bench boost is that there is going to be a similar blank game week to game week 18 and game week 29, guys. And since I don't have my free hit, I already burnt it. I already used it. So I'll have to navigate game week 29 without a free hit. So that would mean when I wildcard in game week 25, I will have to make a team not just looking at the double game week 26, but also at the blank game week 29 as well. So essentially, I'm planning to use my wildcard in Game Week 25, right? So if I use my wildcard in Game Week 25, planning for the double Game Week 26, that means having 11 players for double Game Week 26. But the problem is, I'll also need to keep an eye on blank Game Week 29 because I don't have my free hit, right? So that is why if I have to make a team not just for Game Week 26 but also for Game Week 29, I will have to have some players there which are not the best options. So my bench boost is going to get wasted. So that is the reason I want to bench boost now, so that I can get it out of the way. I can have like the best team possible. Like I'll take one hit, a -4, and I'll make a strong team of 15 players. They might not all have a double game week, but I'm going to make sure that they all have a good fixture at least, right? And if they all have a good fixture, I'm pretty happy. Like Bamford plays Brighton, no problems at all there. You know, even if he has one fixture, I'm happy bench boosting Bamford. I'm happy bench boosting Dallas. I'm happy, bench boosting these two players even with single game weeks. Similarly, I'm happy to have either Kane or Son in my team even though they have a single fixture, right? So that is the reason I'm still planning to bench boost in Game Week 19. That is the plan right now, guys, and I'm gonna make it more clear to you tomorrow on Deadline Stream, but I'll tell you my exact team, but that is the current plan in my mind. I am going to bench boost, and even if I don't have, all double game week players, so be it, guys. I'll still going to bench boost and get it out of the way, so that in Game Week 25, when I wildcard, my eyes, my thoughts, and my mind is focused on Game Week 26, which is a double game week, and Game Week 29, which is a blank game week. So that is currently the plan, guys. Now let me tell you about transfers. What transfers am I planning? As I told you, I haven't made any transfers yet. I have one free transfer. Of course, I would have one free transfer since I used my free hit. I would like to tell you what transfers I have in mind. Please remember, they are not fixed. I haven't made any transfers. I'm just telling you, just in case. I'm just telling you what I have in my mind, right? So so basically, one transfer plan that I have is pretty simple. Take out Robertson before the double game week, which seems a little bit over the top, but just gonna tell you, one transfer plan is just do this. Simple, plain, and this would mean going without Kevin De Bruyne. Smelly Web says hi all. Hey Smelly Web, welcome my friend. I'll come back and answer your questions, guys. I'm just gonna tell you about my plans. So this is very simple. This would mean having two double game week players. That means having two City players for the fixtures, which are pretty good. There's against Crystal Palace and Aston Villa at home. So this would possibly give me a little bit of a cover against Kevin De Bruyne. Especially since Pep Guardiola's comments were not the most encouraging. He said, Kevin De Bruyne didn't take the penalty because he was exhausted, he was tired, and such comments, which makes me think: is De Bruyne gonna play 90 minutes in both the games? Maybe not. Who knows what's gonna happen there, right? But this could help me cover for Manchester City, and this is one plan, guys. And the second plan which I could do is simply to second plan that I can possibly do, but that would involve taking maybe a -8, because if I'm not bench boosting, then I don't have a problem keeping Balbuena in my team. But if I am going to bench boost, then I'm gonna have to get rid of Balbuena, and unfortunately there is no defender that comes for 2.5, so I'm gonna have to kind of rationalize a bit. Maybe get Stones here, and maybe get somebody like Konsa, or maybe get somebody like Matt Target in here. So this could be an option as well, to get Kevin De Bruyne. This way I get to keep Harry Kane in my team, a pretty good fixture against Sheffield United, and beyond Brighton, West Brom, and there's a couple of tough fixtures in there. So I don't really want to keep Harry Kane. I'm gonna possibly move him on for Jamie Vardy after the double game week. I possibly wanted to move him before that, but no, I don't want to make too many transfers. So the plan is, I'm just gonna tell you plain and simple. The plan is to bring in two City players, be it two defenders or be it Kevin De Bruyne and one defender. So I'm gonna have to work it out, guys. But I'll update you. I'll keep updating you on Twitter what I do. Alright, back to answering your questions. That's what we are here for. I just talked a little bit about my team because I know you guys might have wanted to know that. Dexter says, "Hey Wiz, I'm top 1.5k and I have only 5 players double game week. Is Fabianski playing?" First of all, Dexter, that is an amazing rank to be in, my friend. Congratulations for that. And you have 5 players, that makes it 6 because Fabianski is fit and Fabianski is gonna be playing. That's what he confirmed from his Twitter handle today. So you should be 6 with 6 double game week players. I mean, if you wanna have to take a hit, maybe one hit, and that would be fine. If you don't have enough players, then you could just field a team of 11 players. Don't try to bench boost, don't try to take too many hits when you're up there. That's what I learned the hard way, guys. When I finished on top 500 rank, I was in top 1k much before game week 38, but I didn't stop taking hits and I kept falling down and down and down. So when you were up there, just try to get more players which are safe, and whose expected ownership is too high, so nobody becomes a sword for you, and then target a couple of differentials. So Fabianski is playing, my friend. He's fit. Stan says, "Thoughts on Tammy Abraham?" Well, to be honest with you, Stan, I know Chelsea has a double game week, but I would not target Tammy Abraham. In general, I wouldn't target Chelsea, but if I wanted to go with anybody from Chelsea, I'd say Chilwell could be one of the good players. I just maybe Timo Werner, but I'm just not convinced by them at this moment. Pudzley says, "Is Foden nailed on?" No, he isn't, my friend. Saleh says, "Fresh Sterling was useless to had him captain." I feel for you, Saleh. I feel for you, my friend. It was just the horrendous penalty miss, and I don't even know why is Raheem Sterling taking penalties. He's missed 4 out of the last 6 that he's taken. Can you believe it? Insane. Neil says, "Hey Wiz." Hey Neil, welcome, my friend. FPL Jug says, "Who to captain, Salah or KDB?" Out of those two, my friend, I'd say I'd go with KDB just because he has the better fixtures. Sid says, "Southampton manager saying he's also preparing to play Leeds if their FA Cup tie gets postponed and a Premier League game which got postponed would be rescheduled." Yes, I know that, but these things might happen, might not happen. Well, if Leeds get a double game week back, I would be more than happy. But we are not sure about that, so that is why I'm not taking any chances about that. Nail says, "Son to Salah, Saka to Soucek, and Kane to Vardy for a -8. To be honest with you, my friend, I'd say Son to Salah and Kane to Vardy could be enough for you. If you do Soucek Saka plus 4, and I think that could match Soucek pretty easily, and Saka does have decent fixtures as well. I mean, you want to go with Soucek? I'm not against that. But if you're using a bench boost and you really want enough double game week players, then you can go for that. But even without that, your team would look pretty good. Raja says, "Was your favorite captain for this week?" To be honest with you, my friend, I'm thinking between Kevin De Bruyne and Salah. Since I'm going to have both Kevin De Bruyne and Salah in my team, I'm not totally decided on one of them yet. But I think I'm leaning towards Kevin De Bruyne at the moment. FPL Knight says, "Hey Wiz, discussed about Antonio." Well, I haven't, but I should, FPL Knight. So guys, as you already know, I would like to tell you about that. West Ham have sold Ole to Ajax, and now they don't have a striker. They practically have a youngster who they bought from the Manchester United Academy, and they have Mikel Antonio. So, Mikel Antonio has a great double game week coming up. So if you have the funds and if you have a transfer to spare, you can think about getting Mikhail Antonio in your team for the double game week, and I think he could be a great differential. And his value is about to go up as well tonight, so that means a lot of people are transferring him in. So if you want for the double game week, you can target Mikhail Antonio. Yash says thoughts on Cavani. Well, I think Cavani could be a great differential, but the fixtures are, they're two kind of absolutely contrasting fixtures, one against Liverpool and one against Fulham. To be honest with you, neither of those teams concede a lot of goals at the moment. Liverpool don't concede a lot of goals, and Fulham are looking more defensively solid as well. So Cavani, maybe not for this week. Subro says, hey Wiz, my double game week 19 probable lineup is Mendy, Stones, Shaw, Sofal, Target, KDB, Bruno, Salah, Son, Vardy, Antonio. No improvements needed, Subro. That is fantastic. Murli says, Wiz, what are your transfer plans? Yeah, I already talked about that. Dexter says, I got one transfer. What double game week player to bring in? Well, Dexter, it depends upon your strategy, my friend. If you can tell me your entire team, that would be easier for me to comment upon. Nehal says, no bench boost. I could do Saka to Salah and Kane to Antonio, but concerned for his minutes, can see Benrahma or Bowen starting one game. Well, Nehal, that is true. That is true. But if like Antonio plays one full game and 30 minutes for the second game, he would still be worth it at 6.2 million, you know? So just think about that. If you're not using a bench boost, then you should think about when to use your bench boost, because you can use it in game week 26 as well, since you have your free hit. FPL Knight says thinking about bringing Antonio in for DCL and upgrading Taylor to Cancelo. Cancelo is due a haul. Well, that's what I keep hearing. Yes, he is due a haul, right? He is playing pretty forward, and out of all the defenders, Cancelo is the most attacking. I agree with that. Excuse me. Fez says, Grealish to Soucek to fund DCL to Kane. Fez, do you really want to bring Kane in for this game week? He has a single game week. Why not bring in Vardy? You should be concerned as well that Grealish also has a double game week, provided he has one game against Manchester City, right? But if you want to bring in Soucek for Grealish, I won't be against it. But why for Kane? Why not Jamie Vardy, my friend? Think about that. By the way, guys, if you own Grealish, I have to tell you, Grealish is on 4 yellow cards. Bruno Fernandes is on 4 yellow cards. Remember that. In the double game week, if Grealish gets a yellow card against Manchester City, he's not gonna be playing against Newcastle, right? And if Bruno Fernandes gets a yellow card against Liverpool, he's not gonna be playing against Fulham. Remember that, guys. It's important, right? Because we are thinking. So that is the reason I tell you not to captain Bruno Fernandes, because there's always a possibility for a player to get a yellow card and then he's absolutely not going to play at all. If he gets a yellow card against Liverpool, Bruno Fernandes. So Grealish and Bruno, 2 important players, both on 4 yellow cards. And those yellow cards are going to be expiring in game week 21, just in case you want to know. Anoy says, do you think it's worth taking a 12-point hit so I can free hit? Anoy, I don't understand your question, bro. James says, hello, do you think you would bench boost this week of Meslier, Bamford, Shaw and Rafinha? Yes, I would, James. Honestly feel, if you want, you can replace one player, even if for a hit, but I think that bench can be bench boosted. Nehal says, agree, Antonio can do a damage in 30 minutes. And the matches are good. I mean, he plays Burnley. Alright, granted, Burnley have pretty good performance from the past few weeks, right? And they look stronger. But West Bromwich Albion, still, I feel Antonio is worth a punt. ACND says, Martinez, Chilwell, Cresswell, Stones, Fernandes, Son, De Bruyne, Pulisic, Abraham, Bamford, Kane. What do you think of the team? Already took a -8. Well, I think Abraham is a bit of a punt, because I am not sure if he's going to start or not. Excuse me. 2 Chelsea players in Pulisic and Abraham, it seems much to me. I'd prefer maybe Harvey Barnes of Leicester or somebody like that. But otherwise, the team looks fine, my friend. Jake says, thoughts on Son, plus Steer plus Brewster to Socek, Mendy and Antonio for a -8 in bench boost. Whoa, that's well, yeah, I'd say it's a little bit in the balance, Jake. But if you want to bench boost, then I think you can do it. I mean, if you want to take a hit, guys, remember, don't just take a hit for the double game week. Also keep your eyes on the upcoming game weeks, because this team, remember, you're gonna have the same team going into game week 20 as well, right? So when you're making a team, don't just think about game week 19. The players which you are getting, for example, you're gonna get Antonio. You have to think that, how is that going to impact your team in game week 20, and how is that going to impact your transfer plan in game week 21? Guys, always plan long term. That's all I really want to say to you. Excuse me, guys, let me have a drink of water, please. Alright, I'm back. So, guys, before I go ahead and answer your questions, I'd just like to say that, FPL Visit memberships are open, the channel memberships. You can join. You can see a join button right next to the subscribe button, so you can click on that and you can become a member of the channel, and that would help support the channel. If you want to do that, be my guest, and love that. Thank you. Let's go ahead. Onoi says, should I take a -12 to free hit? Onoi, I just don't understand the question. What do you mean, I take a -12 for a free hit? Free hit means, you don't, I mean, your transfers don't cost anything. So, please, can you paraphrase? Can you be more clear, my friend? I just can't understand. Dexter says, we need to answer Dexter, guys. He's top 1.5k and we need to help him. Fabianski says, he has Fabianski, Kelman, Dallas, Kyle Walker-Peters, Robertson, Zuma, Bruno, Son, Salah, Rafinha, Soucek, Adams, Bamford, and Kane. Well, out of your team, there's not many double game weeks in there, my friend, and I honestly think that you need to get Kevin De Bruyne in there, and you need possibly one Manchester City defender. You almost have, similar team like me, and with a few differences, but you have the same problem. You don't have any City players, and City have two great fixtures. And don't just think about City in this game week. Let me show you here. City have great fixtures, not just in this game week, but in general. They've got, look at this. So if you're taking a hit for City players this week, guys, it's absolutely the right idea. The reason why I say that, because they don't only have good fixtures in game week 19, they have good fixtures in game week 20, 21 and game week 22 as well, guys. So if you're taking a hit for City players, I feel you're absolutely justified to do so, especially in the double game week. Nihal says, Shaw, Maguire, Grealish, Tielemans, Target, Westwood, Fuchs, Bruno, players on 4 yellows. Guys, this is important information, and if with the permission of Nihal, I'm just going to post it again. These guys have have 4 yellows, guys. So if you have any of them, be careful. Luke Shaw, guys, remember, Luke Shaw is on 4 yellows. One more yellow card against Liverpool and he misses the game against Fulham. Remember that. Grealish, Bruno Fernandes. These are the important ones. I honestly, think about that. FPL Jug says Antonio could be a trap. Well, to be honest, Jug, I don't think he's a trap. I think he's a very, very desirable differential at this moment in time. With the sale of Ole, I don't think Bowen can play striker. Not for the entire 90 minutes. I feel that Antonio is going to be involved a lot more. When they sold Ole to Ajax, I know they have a plan, and if they don't bring in anybody in the transfer window, they only have 2 strikers. One is that little kid from the Manchester United Academy, he's like 19, and one is Antonio. So, yeah. Nehal says missed Bobby Reed on the 4 yellows. Well, there you go, guys, but I'm not sure how many people own Cordova Reed, but he is on 4 yellows as well. Thank you so much for this information, Nehal. I think it's important. Jake says, what are your thoughts on Son plus tier to Kyle Walker-Peters? Um, that's 4 transfers. Son plus Steer, Brewster, Kyle Walker-Peters to Socek, Mendy, Antonio, and Diaz. I'm not sure about Antonio in there, my friend, but I like those transfers. All of those are double game week players. Long term, I think, City have good fixtures, as I just showed you. West Ham have decent fixtures as well. So why not? Think about it. Minus 12 is a bit much, but if you have to take a hit, and if that makes your team settled, not for game week 19, but for the upcoming game weeks, I would be for it. Alright, guys, so when I talk about players, guys, and by the way, I'm not sponsored by anyone, I just want to show you one website that I use that I find very helpful, and I just want to share it with you. This is a website called sofascore.com. I think it's pretty helpful to me when I talk about players. This is, this gives me informations, and I see heat maps and stuff. I honestly feel this is very helpful. So let's say who should we talk about? Let's say we want to see the performance of Bukayo Saka. I go to Arsenal, Crystal Palace, and I go to lineups, and I can see the performance. This again, I'm gonna write the name of this app here, or this website. I'm not sponsored by it, I'm just using it, guys, and I'm just wanted to tell you that, so you can have a look here. So if you want to check the performance, the heat maps, this amazing website is free, guys, free to use. Like, you can see the heat map of Bukayo Saka and where he played for the entirety of the game. His rating 7.2, how many touches he had, 70, accurate passes, key passes, crosses, shots off target, on target, dribble attempts, and everything. So I honestly use this website a lot, and I think if you want, you can, it'll help you in long term. If you really want to get into Fantasy Premier League, this helps. So just wanted to show you this. I don't know why, but I felt that it could be helpful. So let's see, Kevin De Bruyne. No, this is the old one. So which player? Let's just, for example, which player are we all thinking about? Antonio. Let's go and check Antonio here. Not even sure if I'm gonna be able to find him, but well, there you go, guys. West Ham and where is Antonio? Yeah, so he's not played too much. So 30 minutes, Snehal, there are your 30 minutes from Antonio. One shot on target, and yeah. So I just wanted to show you this, by the way, guys. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I'm just gonna come back and answer your questions. But just in case, I just wanted to show you this free website. You always ask me which tools I use. What do I like? In terms of the free apps, I think SofaScore is one of the best. So, it's free. So if you want, you can use it, guys. I'm coming back. I'd also like to show you the price changes, So let's see if, whether you should make your transfers tonight or not. Let's see who is rising tonight. This amazing website which predicts the price changes is called fplstatistics.co.uk. And you can see who's rising tonight. Antonio, we're all just talking about Antonio, right? And he is rising tonight 100%. Tomorrow Antonio is going to be 6.3 million. Kevin De Bruyne is set to rise as well. Mitchell, I'm not sure. I think people just got flattered by his 8 points, and maybe they just want a cheap player to kind of bring in. That is the reason they're going for Crystal Palace's Mitchell. Otherwise, he plays against City. I don't understand the point. But, these players are bound to go up. And you can see here from the arrows, John Stones is quickly coming up. Pascal Struijk is coming up as well. Cancelo, Diaz. So the Manchester City players are being transferred in really heavily. De Bruyne, Stones, Diaz, Cancelo. So you might wanna, if you wanna bring them in, they might rise tomorrow. And who's due to fall? My word, who's due to fall? Son, guys. If you own Son and you wanna transfer him out, he's definitely gonna fall tomorrow. Wilfred Zaha, James Ward-Prowse, Lewis Billy Bowley, McCarthy. I own McCarthy, and he's gonna fall. My word, Grealish is gonna fall. I mean, he's could fall. Not 100%. He's about 100, but he could fall. Grealish could fall, and very these are important players, and I'm not even sure about who else. There's so many players who are due to fall. It's mainly because of the wild cards and free hits. But you use this app, guys. It'll help you. Price is important, the value is important, so use this app and it'll help you. So Grealish, Son, important players due to fall. Kevin De Bruyne, Antonio, all these are due a rise. Amrit says, is it similar to Who Scored? Yeah, it's similar to Who Scored, but I just find it more convenient to use it on the computer and on the app as well. Jake says, best forward under 8 million. Under 8 million, I'd say Bamford is the best, my friend. Because I feel it's pretty much nailed on, and he's doing pretty well this season. He's exceeding expectations, and I think he's one of the best options under 8 million. Sid says Kane to Antonio, Son to KDB, Balbuena to Cancelo for a -8. Well, Sid, you can look at my team, and I'm kind of having to make similar transfers. The only problem I see here is that Sheffield United is one of the worst teams in the league, right? They found it so hard to beat a Newcastle team which was down to 10 men. And Spurs are playing against Sheffield United, and I don't want to sell both their players. That would be, remember, I know we all look at the players that we are going to bring in, but sometimes the players that we are going to transfer out might have a good fixture as well. It is not important that a double game week player is going to outscore a single game week player. It's not a given, right? We all were so hot on Kieran Tierney last week, and what happened? He didn't even play, and I wasted my free hit. Sometimes just think about that. Otherwise, could be. Murley says Balbuena is out. Yeah, Balbuena is gonna go out of my team, my friend. I'm just gonna sit tonight. I'm gonna make my decisions. I told you my transfer plan, so I don't want to go over that again. But I'm going to get Balbuena out of my team first. John Stones, Joao Cancelo, or Ruben Diaz, depending on the funds that I have. But yeah, Balbuena is gone from my team early. Don't you worry, guys. You got 35 people watching. Like and subscribe. Amrit says, hey Wiz, if the prices are going up, are you make them tonight? Amrit, I think 99% before I go to sleep tonight, I'm going to make my transfers, and whenever I do make my transfers, I update my transfers on YouTube and on Twitter as well. So, if you follow me on Twitter and you are subscribed to the channel, there's no way you can miss my update. I'm gonna update it, and you shall be fine. Nehal says, that's my only reason to hold Son. Long term could be decent too. Sheffield United, Poole, Brighton, Chelsea, West Brom. Honestly, I feel Son is his value. This season, Son is definitely value, He's got so many double-digit hauls. Just look at this, guys. You really want to transfer this player out? 24, 18, 13, 11, 10, 13, 9, 13. This is insane. This player has been in insane form. Granted, this run doesn't look the best, but there were a couple of really tough fixtures in there, and he still got 10 against City, 13 against Arsenal, 5 against Palace, 9 against Liverpool. Son is solid gold this season. The problem is double game week, and we just sometimes tend to overplay it. We sometimes tend to take double game week so seriously, and that we sometimes transfer good single game week players out. But remember, I just want to tell you this one thing, and this is the most important. When you make your transfers for the double game week, do not only look at the fixtures of your players in Game Week 19. The players which you are bringing in should have good fixtures in 21, 22. At least, make a long-term plan, guys. Short-term vision is not going to get you anywhere. I'm just telling you this. Amrit says, have to put in notifications for your Twitter then. Amrit, why haven't you put notifications on my Twitter? I'm just kidding. My tweets are mostly just banter, but yeah. So, I'll update you. Dexter says, Wiz, I will put notifications on for your Twitter. Need to make change before I sleep. Well, guys, I thank you so much. You hold you hold my opinion so high, guys, and I'll try to live up to your expectations. I thank you so much for this honor. Well, guys, we have a new member. Murli has just joined the membership. I thank you so much for supporting the FPL Visit channel, Murli. I know you're a regular on streams, and just can't thank you enough for helping support the channel, my friend. I welcome you to the Dumbledore. So yeah, the transfers this game week are important in the sense that I just want to say that you focus on long term, guys. Again, that's really important. Jethro says, Wiz, can you tell me what changes to make to my team? Sure, Jethro. I'm just gonna go back and I'm gonna read your message if I can find it. Jethro, can you post your team again? I'm just can't seem to find it. Murli says, Wiz, I missed your transfer plans. Well, Murli, I'll tell you, because I don't have a concrete plan at the moment, I gave a couple of plans and I'll just repeat them again for the sake of anybody who joined after I said that. So one plan is I can, because I'm thinking that maybe Kevin De Bruyne, is not. If I think that Kevin De Bruyne is not essential, then this plan really makes sense to me, because this way I can get rid of Sofal, right? Sofal, I mean Balbuena. I can get rid of Balbuena, and I can get John Stones, and I can get Cancelo, and I can get 1 million in the bank for future transfers as well. I mean, you kind of have to weigh up the options, because transferring out Robertson is not never the best option. He has a double game week as well. He's nailed on to start, and he has one good fixture against Burnley, and United are also not a bad fixture at Anfield either. So that is kind of one plan that I can go with. The problem here is that Cancelo and Stones force me to keep Son and Kane. That's like two single game week players, which cost a lot of money. That is one problem. The second one, obviously, that means to have take a -8. That means just getting in De Bruyne here. I can do De Bruyne, and I can get any City defender, whichever I want, and of course I can get any City defender that I want. Stones, and then I have to make -2.5 here, which I can make with two ways, which come into my mind. Either I can take out Robertson for somebody like Matt Target, right? That's a -8 right there. And if I don't want to do this, possibly I can take out Kane for somebody like Antonio. If I feel Antonio is a good option, I can take out Kane for Antonio as well. That'll give me 2.3 million in the bank. That's not the worst transfer. I have to weigh up my options. I just, I came onto the stream, and I just wanted to tell you what is my current plan. So there you go. We have Jethro's team. So let's go ahead and answer that. Nehal says, "Hey, this is my team." So there you go. Fabianski, Johnston, Lowton. So you've got Fabianski, you've got Lowton, Johnston, two playing keepers, both double game week. Nice. Lowton, Robertson, Dallas, Chilwell, Sofal. I think they all got double game weeks, except Dallas, and I'm pretty happy with that defense. Except that I would love for you to have a City defender, but those defenders look pretty good to me. Souček, Rafinha, Saleh, Bruno, Lookman. Well, your midfield does look a little bit, thin in my opinion. Kane, Bamford, Adams. Well, yeah, Jethro, I can see where you have a problem here. Again, you've got Che Adams, who doesn't have the best fixture and has a single game week as well. Bamford also has a single game week, and then you have Rafinha, and you've got like three cheap midfielders in. You've got Souček, you've got Rafinha, and you've got Lookman. So you have three cheap midfielders along with Salah and Bruno. And if you want to get KDB in there, that would mean like a lot of topsy-turvy changes in your team. The problem is you've got lots invested in your defense there. So pretty difficult for me to kind of see what you can do really. I mean, I don't see a way to bring in Kevin De Bruyne in that team, uh, because you know the thing is, maybe you can transfer out Kane and get Kevin De Bruyne, and along with that, you can get a City defender. So if that is a possibility for you, Jethro, that's what I would think. Otherwise, honestly, feel it's difficult. But what I would do in your team is maybe get KDB somehow and a City defender. If that means having downgrade from Kane to Antonio, or having downgrading, maybe Kane to somebody like Watkins, I guess, or Antonio, you can do that. That's my opinion. Very difficult. Danforth has some news for us, guys. He says the fresh rumor is that Leeds and Southampton may still go ahead because the Shrewsbury coach has tested positive. I mean, does a coach testing positive entail, cancelling the game? I'm not sure about these protocols, not sure what's going on there, but that is the reason, guys. Sometimes, if you have certain players which are not too expensive, don't try and hurry and transfer them out because of, the double game week. Long term, always think long term, my friend. Subro has an opinion about my team. He says, Wiz, you can transfer in Stones and Vardy for Balbuena and Kane as you already own Son. Subro, that is right, and I have thought about that. The problem is I just don't want to go into the double game week with just one City player. That is my problem, honestly. I have thought about that, and I've done that already in my team so many times. I like Vardy and I like Stones, but is it enough to cover Manchester City having just John Stones when people will be having two defenders and Kevin De Bruyne? Especially people who are close to my rank. That is a concern for me. But I'm gonna sit, guys. After this stream, I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna do a lot of research, and I'm gonna update you on my transfers. No worries. If you don't follow me on Twitter at @TheRaceWizFPL, if you would like to interact more, you can join our Discord server. We've got FPL Jug, we've got Nahal, we've got Danforth. We got so many nice and amazing people in there who are willing to help you with your transfers, along with me, who I sometimes chip in with my advice as well. So please, if you want, you can join that. Alright, so Faz says Vardy goes ghost mode versus top sides. Well, Faz, that is not right. That is not true. Vardy has an really amazing record versus the top six. He scored a hat-trick versus Manchester City in this season itself. Against Arsenal, he does well. Against Liverpool, he has a good record as well. So, I think that's a misconception, Faz. Jug says, do you agree that KDB looks tired and could be rested in one of the games? Well, Jug, I don't think he can be rested. I think he could be, essentially, he could be taken off at 60 minutes in one of the games, but I don't think he's going to be rested. I think Pep knows the importance of having KDB in his team, Nike says, hey, is Cancelo nailed on to start both game weeks? Guys, by the way, Nike here in the chat, he has posted a tweet. He says if this tweet gets 100 likes, he's going to triple captain. He's going to triple captain Cancelo if he gets 100 likes. Make sure you go to his Twitter and you like that tweet. Let's make him triple captain Cancelo. Nike, I'm not sure if Cancelo is nailed, but from the previous, from the record, from the way he has been playing, I think Pep kind of, wants Cancelo in his team. Look here, starting almost all the games. He just missed one game in the middle. I think Pep gave him a rest, and that was the only one. Other than that, he's been starting ever since he made his way into the team. He's been starting almost all the games. So not sure. With Pep Guardiola, you can never be certain, but you can think about that. Jethro says, thanks, Nahal. Well, I hope Jethro, you kind of got your answer, bro. And your team is the structure of your team is really difficult, and you have to You have to take out Kane to get in City players. Unless you don't want De Bruyne, you can just get a defender or two. But I honestly feel that you have the structure of your team doesn't you know look too good. And if you kind of spread the money around a little bit more in midfield, I think that will help you in the long term. FPL Jug says I gave a like to Nike's tweet. Absolutely. Absolutely. Neil says, Cancelo, triple captain. Hope it doesn't bring back the Duffy vibes. I remember there was a time when everybody on Twitter was so hot on triple captaining Duffy. And he blanked, guys. He blanked. And, and everybody transferred him out. And the next game week, the single game week, he got a goal. It was insane. That time was insane. I remember that pretty well. But I didn't triple captain him, thankfully. I triple captained Salah that season and I got 57 points from that against Huddersfield. Shopman says, bring Antonio for DCL and play 3-4-3 or just stick with Saka. Saka is playing left wing back. Well, Shopman, that is not true. He's not playing left wing back. The problem is, I think, when Ainsley Maitland-Niles came off, that is the time he went back to left wing back. Otherwise, Saka was playing on the right wing. Most of the time, when Saka starts the game, he's starting on the wing, Because of the injury to Tierney, I think he had to go to the left wing for the last 20 minutes when Pepe came on. Otherwise, I think Saka is fine. Against Newcastle, seems to be one of the worst teams in the division at the moment, along with Sheffield United. So if you want, you can stick with Saka. But the thing is, Antonio gives you the upside of the double game week. And if you're sure that he's going to play both the games or he's going to get enough game time, why not? That's all I think about that. Is there anything left to talk about? I think I've already talked about my team, guys. The only thing I don't like about is McCarthy lost his double game week. He had a game against Leeds. That is what I brought him in for. I had other options as well, but I hope what Danford said is true, and I hope that Leeds versus Southampton does get put back into the double game week. But to be honest with you, if it has to be put back, they wouldn't put too much time for the announcement, because they cannot, after the start of the game week, they can't say that we are putting a new match in the. So if there is gonna be Southampton versus Leeds in game week 19, we are going to know before the game week. That's a positive. Wellen says, thoughts on Dyer, Bamford, Dallas and Johnston on my bench. Well, Dyer has a decent match. Bamford, Dallas, well, they all have single game weeks, right? But I honestly feel, Wellen, did you use your free hit in game week 18? And if you did, Wellen, then I feel that you should bench boost and get it out of the way, since you have playing players on the bench, right? Later on, when you wildcard in game week 25, you can focus on getting 11 good players rather than spreading your money around on the bench trying to bench boost. So sometimes bench boost can become a curse for your team if you have it. It becomes difficult to get playing players on the bench sometimes. Amr says Kane and Charlie Taylor out for Werner and Chilwell or a -4. I don't think so, my friend. I mean, do you really want to get Werner? I mean, he hasn't even been in the best of form. I know people are bigging up Werner on Twitter, and I've seen him bigged up all along the season. I don't know whether they're Chelsea fans, what's going on there, but I know Werner has been a fantastic player in Germany in Bundesliga, but he just isn't looking confident, my friend. And scoring 1 goal in FA Cup against you-know-who, I mean, not the best way to judge his form, my friend. Honestly, I feel that you can keep Kane. You can just replace Charlie Taylor with Matt Lowton. That'll give you a double game week player and Kane versus Sheffield United. I mean, you can do that as well. If you want, you can go with Kane to Vardy and Charlie Taylor to somebody else. You can upgrade Charlie Taylor to Stones. Think about that, Amr. Vegard says, your thoughts on Cordova Reed in double game week 19 and onwards. And he says in the brackets, he's on 4 yellows, I know. Well, I think the Cordova Reed is a decent option, although he's is he listed as a forward, right? But he plays on the wing. He plays as a wing back sometimes, right wing back he plays sometimes. Sometimes he plays on the wing. So I think he's decent. If I wanted to get one player from Fulham, I would, and if I had enough, if I had a place for him in my team, I'd say Cavaliero, because Cavaliero is on penalties as well, and I think he's playing as a striker there. I think he's taken the place of Mitrovic. I'd love to have Cavaliero from Fulham if I wanted to have one player. The second player that I would look at is maybe Lookman. Other than that, Anguissa, if you want a 4.5 million enabler in your team. Decordiver Reed, not so sure about. I like Caballero more, honestly. Wellen says, I have free hit. Well, if you have free hit, then you don't need to bench boost in this game week, my friend. I mean, although you can if you want to, but if you wildcard in game week 25, there's going to be another double game week in game week 26, well then, and you can bench boost then as well, because you have your free hit, so you would not have to be concerned with the double game week, blank game week 29, so you can bench boost in 26, but since you have a playing bench right now, you can, my friend, bench boost now as well. Now it's just up to you if you want to do it now or you want to do it in 26. That's all there is to it. Fadzili says, I'm struggling who to pick between Diaz and Cancelo. I already have Stones. Do you think it's okay to double up on them? I think it's perfectly reasonable, and I think you should double up on the City defense because they're amazing. I mean, they've been keeping clean sheets left, right, and center. I mean, how many clean sheets do they have in the last few games? I would love to see. I think they've got 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, 5 clean sheets out of the last 7 games. I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing. Imagine if you have had double defense throughout those games. It would be just amazing for your team. So I'd say you can definitely double up on their defense, not just for this week, but for the long term as well. And out of Diaz and Cancelo, I would say if you already own John Stones, I think you should take a risk and you should go with Cancelo, because owning 2 central defenders is not the most exciting thing in FPL, in my opinion. Diaz and Stones have got negligible goal threats, and I know they'll give you clean sheets, but you should go for a little bit more with Cancelo. I feel that's what I would do, my friend. That's what I would do. Jethro says, Wiz, I should keep Fabianski. Well, Jethro, you can only we can only go on what the players say, what the managers say. We don't have access to more information than that, and sometimes we just have to go with that. And honestly, if Fabianski doesn't play one game and still plays one game, I still feel that it's worth it, because if he doesn't play against Burnley and he plays against West Bromwich Albion, I'd say it's worth it. Don't waste your transfers. Long term, I think Fabianski is a good option anyway. Dexter says, triple captain Mo Salah, when to use this chip? Dexter, that's a good question. I'd say mostly a good time to use it is a double game week, but as you already know, as with the free hit and blank game week, it doesn't always work out. When I got that top 500 rank that I did, I captained Mo Salah in a single game week against a team who was struggling. That was Huddersfield. Sometimes when you triple captain at the end of the season, you already know which teams are going to get relegated, and that gives you a lot of advantage, because relegated teams, they are already playing like they are on the beach. They don't care, and the big players, especially the flat track bullies, they just take advantage of such teams. So if we know, for example, by the end of the season, we know that Newcastle, Sheffield, West Brom, Fulham, whichever team is going to get relegated, we can just target those teams, because right now they're fighting for their lives. That's why they're defending really gritty defending. But once they know they're getting relegated, they just kind of doze off a little bit, and they let other teams score more freely against them. Ridwan says, Balbuena is isolating. Yes, Ridwan, I know, my friend, and he's going to make his way out of my team. Amr says, I have 3 City players already. Who do you think is the best Charlie Taylor replacement? under the same price bracket, under 4.6 million. He says, well, Amr, I think if you want, you can go with Matt Target. He is 4.6 million, right? So if you have that budget, you can go for him. Otherwise, you can just replace him with Matt Lowton, because Burnley inherently are a good defensive team, and at 4.4 million or 4.5 million, I think a defender from Burnley is worth it. Fadli says, do you think Cancelo is nailed on? Well, no, I'm not sure about the nailed on aspect, my friend. But as I just showed you, right? I showed you. Um, he's ever since he came into the team, Fadli, he has just missed one game, and other than that, he's doesn't even get subbed off. When he starts, he doesn't get subbed off. He plays the full 90, the full quota of his minutes. So if he doesn't start on right back, he goes to left back. I think should be pretty much nailed on. But guys, if he doesn't start, for the love of God, do not blame me, because I have not been able to figure out the Pep roulette just yet. When I do, my crystal ball algorithm freezes when it sees the bald head of Mr. Pep Guardiola. George Lyle says, is a -8 okay to remove Kane, Rashford and Lindelof for Salah, Antonio and Justin worth it? Can get Mane and Robertson instead of Salah and Justin as well. That's a difficult one to call, because Rashford has a double game week, Kane has a good fixture. The problem is Lindelof, and Rashford is in decent form as well. I mean, he did get 7 points or 6 points against Burnley. So, I mean, if you want, I would say if you really want to do it, you can, my friend. And both your transfer plans look good. I mean, Antonio, along with Mane and Robertson, and Salah and Justin. In my opinion, they all look good. If I was you, I'd possibly just about do Antonio, Mane and Robertson. It looks in my opinion, that would get you more points, So it looks good for a -8, but do check the fixtures of the players which you're getting in beyond the double game week as well. Who do you think will win, Liverpool or United? Well, it's a very difficult game to call, my friend, because United have been picking up form and Liverpool have looked like they're kind of losing form a bit, and they're also struck by injuries. And if Liverpool, can't, Salah has looked a little bit out of form as well. They didn't do too well. And who did they draw against last game? Why can't I remember what's happened to me? Was it against? Who was it against? Southampton. Yeah, they drew against Southampton, or did they lose to Southampton? Yeah, they lost against Southampton. In fact, sorry, apologies, guys. I just sometimes this. So basically, they lost against Southampton, and they haven't been doing too well. But I think the rivalry between United and Liverpool, and Klopp wanting to re-establish the lead at the top, I feel that they're going to go full cylinders on this one, and I see a Liverpool win here. Maybe a draw. That's the best I feel United can get. I don't think United are going to win, because at Anfield, Liverpool's record has been absolutely, splendid for the past few years, and the best I think United can do is notch a draw, maybe, but I think Liverpool are going to win. Soman, hey, welcome, my friend. He says, I didn't even know you were streaming today. Good to see you. Good to see you too, Soman, and I welcome you. I'm gonna be here for some time more, so let's get talking, bro. George Lyle says, drew versus West Brom and Newcastle and lost versus Southampton. That's insane, isn't it, guys? I mean, they beat Spurs, they beat Chelsea, and then they drew versus West Brom and Newcastle and lost versus Southampton. That's insane for the team of caliber of Liverpool. Someone says, will you try to get KDB and Antonio in your side this week, or go into the week without KDB? Well, I'm weighing my options, Soman, and Yes, I'm kind of thinking about it a little bit. The reason is the comments of Pep Guardiola about KDB were not the most encouraging. He said he's tired, he was exhausted, and that is the reason he didn't take the penalty. I mean, do you really need that much energy to take a penalty? I mean, if he could make the run to win the penalty, how hard would it be for him to kind of slot it home? Wasn't that Sterling actually buried it? It just skied it anyway. So why wouldn't De Bruyne take it? I mean, I was just a little bit worried about the comments. That is the reason either I'm gonna go with two City defenders or Kevin De Bruyne and a City defender. Which one out of the two? I haven't made up my mind yet. But then I just wanted to come here and I wanted to tell you all about. I wanted to answer your questions. And I wanted to talk to you about it, and the best way was to come here and tell you both my options, and whatever transfers I make before I go to sleep, I'm going to tweet and I'm going to let you know. And even if I don't make a transfer, I'll let you know, guys. Don't worry about it. FPL Jug, thank you so much for your tweet. Onoy says, do you think it's okay to bench boost, but I still have McCarthy, Dallas, Bamford, Mitchell and Meslier? I mean, it's not ideal, Onoy, but especially with Mitchell playing Manchester City and all the other players having a single game week. But as I told you, if you used your free hit, then when will you bench boost? That's the problem, right? When will you bench boost if you don't use it now? And if you already used your free hit, there's going to be a blank game week in 29, so you won't be able to use your wildcard to make a bench boost team for game week 26. It's going to become problematic, So if you want, at least you have playing players on your bench. You can play it and get it out of the way. I mean, technically, guys, in FPL, when we think about it, bench boost offers you how much? Plus 15 to plus 20 points boost at max. Like that's the maximum, unless you go ahead and you put like Salah, Kevin De Bruyne, somebody like Jamie Vardy on the bench just for fun's sake. Generally, your bench players, they can in a bench boost in a double game week, it gives you around 15 to 20 points advantage over the other players, and that's about an average. Sometimes you get more, sometimes you get less, but that's the general average, right? So Anas says Son, Bamford, Dallas out for Foden, Antonio, Stones. I don't think so, Anas. The problem is, I mean, Bamford, Dallas and Son long term are all good options. Foden, I'm not even sure if he's nailed on. Not even sure if he's going to play both the games. Not even sure if he's going to play one game. Just can't say with Foden. With Stones and Antonio, again with Antonio, are you sure he's going to play both the games? I mean, at least with Bamford and Dallas, you're sure they're going to play one game, and they have a good game against Brighton, right? So just think about it, my friend, a little bit more. Joe says, I have Mane, Salah, Soucek and Fernandes. Should I take one of them for KDB? I think yes, Joao, you should. I think because having two Liverpool midfielders might be a good strategy, but Liverpool haven't been in the best of form, and you need to divide the risk around a little bit. So I think one of them you can take them out for KDB. Why not? I think you should. Someone says, I'm thinking of doing Adams, Taylor to Watkins, Dawson for a -8, and my bench being McCarthy, Bamford, Watkins, Dawson. Did you use your free hit, Soman? That's important for me to know. Joao says, thank you, you're welcome, Joao. I hope you have a great game week, my friend. By the way, guys, I would like to repeat, if we already have one new member today. Murli became a member of the FPL Wizard community. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, and if you would like to support the channel a bit more than that, you can become a member of the channel, and that way you can support the channel and the community. Thank you very much. So Soman, you used your free hit in game week 18, right? So that means that means that you have to kind of use your bench boost, because otherwise when are you going to use it? Because again, I gave you the scenario that I am thinking about, and you have the same scenario, right? Because if you don't use bench boost now, at least you have playing players on your bench, right? If you don't use it now, then you'll have a problem using it in the future, and then you'll have to kind of make a bench boost team on your wildcard, and then how will you navigate the blank game week 29? No, it's gonna be a little bit difficult. I would say it is not a bad idea to use it, and if you have to take a -8 hit, so be it, my friend. Sometimes you have to do this. Jug says, is it viable to use the bench boost in combination with the wildcard later on? Not if you have used your free hit, Jug. If you use your free hit, I don't think it's going to be viable with the wildcard, unless you don't use your wildcard in game week 25, right? There's a possibility there as well. You kind of navigate the double game week 26 with your free transfers, and then you navigate the blank game week with your wildcard. But along with that, targeting the bench boost as well for later. That could be done, but I honestly feel it would require unnecessary burden planning. If you have 4 playing players on your bench and they have a decent fixture, especially if you use your free hit, I think it's better to get it out of the way, guys. That's my opinion, right? I could be wrong, guys, but I've told you the scenario. Don't listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what my opinion is and think about it yourself. If you feel what I'm saying is right, then feel free to do it, guys. Anoi says, who is your best defender for 4.9 million or under this week? I'm gonna have to look, Anoi. Honestly, I'm just not aware of. I tend to say Sofal could be for this week. I think Vladimir Sofal could be a good one, but I have to look. Just give me a second. How many did you say? 4.9, right? Matt Target, but he has one fixture against Manchester City and the second one against Newcastle. So long term could be good. For this week, not so much. So which teams would I recommend you a defender from? Let's talk about that, right? That would be easier. So I would say you should get a defender from either Leicester City, Justin, but he's 5 million, so not in your budget. You could go for Matt Target, as I just said, but in my opinion, the best defender, especially for this week, would be from West Ham United. Sofal for you. Technically speaking says, would you do Robertson, DCL, Son to Stones, KDB, Antonio for a -8? Well, the problem there is, I'd say DCL to Antonio is not a problem, right? But Robertson also has a double game week. I'm thinking the same for my team. So I'm not averse to the move, but you have to kind of think about that in a way that the 2 players that you're transferring out, Son and Robertson, they've got good fixtures as well. How much upside is in that transfer? Is Antonio going to outscore Son by a lot? Not so sure. So basically, it's all about KDB in your team, right? Otherwise, I think Stones, KDB, and Antonio, and Robertson, DCL, and so on. So if you just replace DCL with Antonio, how much downside is there, along with the -8 as well? Yeah, if you want a triple captain KDB, then you can do it. But other than that, I think you could just do DCL to Antonio, and you can still go ahead, and there won't be much difference. So long term, if you want Robertson, Antonio, and Son, or you want Stones, KDB, and Antonio, that should be the basis of your decision, technically speaking, my friend. Fano says, Souček and Werner, or Pulisic and Antonio. Don't like either of those options, my friend. I mean, if I had to choose, if a gun to my head, I'd say Souček and Werner, maybe. Because I feel that Pulisic is just more injury prone, and Antonio is not sure if he's going to get like 2 full games. At least Souček and Werner are nailed on. Jug says, I've got McCarthy, Dyer, Elneny, and Brewster on my bench. Well, Jug, I'd say a couple of hits would sort you out, right? Maybe one. You can go with one single game week player. That's not a problem. Harry says, hi. Hey, Harry, welcome. Grealish or El Ghazi? Obviously, out of those 2, I'd say Grealish. But remember, he's on 4 yellows, so 1 more yellow against City and he misses the game against Newcastle. Alright, let me have a drink of water, guys. Be right back. Oh, right, back. So, Vardy, Soucek, or Antonio and Ziyech? Vardy and Soucek, in my opinion. Technically speaking, says I can't afford KDB if I do only DCL to Antonio. Yeah, I agree. I understand that, my friend. What I meant was just do DCL to Antonio and not get KDB. But of course, if you want to triple captain him, then you have to do it, right? The only kind of tipping point for you should be the triple captain. If you have to use it, then you do it. If you don't, then maybe Robertson, Antonio, and Son can match the transfers. Someone says, who should I get? Antonio and Lowton or Watkins and Dawson? Well, that's a tough one, my friend. I'd say Watkins and Dawson are more nailed on. That's one thing that I would like to say. I mean, Lowton is nailed on as well. I'm not so sure about Antonio. Although I do see the upside of Antonio and Lowton because defensively Burnley are one of the best teams now, and if Antonio starts games, that move can prove to be better. But on paper, at this moment in time, Watkins and Dawson looks to be better, That all depends upon how much game time Antonio has. Mohammed says, is it worth selling Son or Kane to get in KDB? Yeah, if you can sell one of those two and get in KDB, I'd say it is worth it. Selling both of them, then it'll be 50-50. What about deadline stream? Where says FPL Jug. FPL Jug, I know he's worried. He knows that I'm talking too much right now, and the deadline stream is supposed to be tomorrow. Now he thinks, is he going to do another stream tomorrow? Yes, bro. I always do a deadline stream, regardless, right? So yeah, there is going to be a deadline stream for everybody who's listening. 1.5 hour before the deadline tomorrow, guys, there is going to be another stream in which I'm going to reveal my team and I'm going to discuss my strategy and I'm going to answer your questions as well. Joao says, Aston Villa Davis most likely to play. Well, it depends upon the fitness of Ollie Watkins. If Ollie Watkins is fit, then Davis might get some minutes from the bench. I'm not sure if he's nailed on, or my friend. And if Watkins is fit, I don't think he's going to get a lot of game time. Anas says, what are you planning with the transfers? Anas, I've basically thinking to, I've got two options, and I've narrowed them down to this: either 2 City defenders for Balbuena and Robertson, or maybe KDB and 1 City defender. How I'm going to do that, I just have to figure out, but I'll do that after the stream and I'll update you guys on my Twitter. So that gives you another good reason to follow me on Twitter, guys. FPL Jack says, I've already taken a -4 hit, which if I try to strengthen my bench, it will become a -8. If it's for a double game week player, it can become viable, my friend. If it's for a double game week player, especially one who has good fixtures beyond game week 19, it could be worth it. I mean, if a hit is viable, none more so than in double game week. There's not a better time than a double game week to take a hit, because at least the player that you bring in has 2 games, so that means, I just take it for granted that he's going to get at least 4 points, right? That's the minimum that we expect. Even from a player like Anguissa, we expect 4 points in a double game week, so yeah, that's the least that we expect, and if he gets more, it's a bonus in it, Jug. So even if the bench boost doesn't help you kind of fix your to improve your score, at least it will help you improve your team without costing you anything, right? The points. Right, guys, so I think I've taken most of the questions. The questions have pretty much dried up now, and I've been streaming for more than 1.5 hours now. I guess it's time to maybe call it quits for now and come back tomorrow on my deadline stream. And I think it's a good time to go and think about my team a little bit, because I think I've offered my opinions, I've offered you my strategy, I've told you why I think for those people who've used their free hit in game week 18 is the best time to bench boost is game week 19, because they have if they are have a set team in game week 19 to bench boost, why it is the best time to do it, why I am thinking about bench boosting as well, and what transfers I'm thinking to make. I also talked a bit about game week 25 wildcard, game week 26 double game week, and game week 29 blank game week. Beyond that, who knows what's gonna happen? Who knows what's gonna happen tomorrow with this COVID situation, guys? And we're talking about like 10 game weeks down the line. So, let's plan for ahead. But party tonight. Yeah, well, guys, I think that with this we come to an end of this edition of the live stream, and I will see you tomorrow. Make sure you join my live stream tomorrow, and we will you see my final team and ask some questions if you have some dilemmas. We have a few questions, and I welcome Todd. When the United team sheet was about to come out, I was thinking about Todd, because in the last stream, guys, Todd sent me a super chat and asked me a question about whether he should pick Lindelof or Shaw, and I had to make that split-second decision. And when the team sheet was about to come out, I was thinking about Todd. I was like, I told him he should pick Shaw over Lindelof, and thankfully Shaw got him some points, and I was relieved about that as well. No worries, Todd. I'll answer your question. No worries. I have two questions. I have one from Velen and I have one from Todd. I'm going to answer these questions before I head off. So Velen says Dallas to Loughton or Target on my bench boost with my free transfer. Well, to be honest with you, my friend, if you want, you can play Dallas. I mean, there's no downside, with keeping Dallas if you want him long term. But other than that, I'd say, Loughton. You should go for Loughton if you want a player who's more likely to get clean sheets in the long term, not in game week 19, because Loughton doesn't have a good fixture in game week 19, technically, right? He's got a game against West Ham away, and he's got a game against Liverpool away. So the fixtures in game week 19 for Target are better. Long term, I'd say if you want to target clean sheets, you go for Loughton. If you want to target maybe an attacking return or two, you should think about Target. If I was you, I'd possibly, I'd say I'd go for Loughton if I was you for the long term. For the short term, if I was you, I'd go for Target. That's your answer. Now let's, answer Todd's question. He says, I have Martinez and McCarthy, Maguire, Sofal, Cancelo, Shaw, and Taylor. Salah, Son, Bruno, Grealish, Soucek, Bamford, DCL, and Wilson. One transfer. Well, Todd, what's your question? Maybe you want to ask me about the transfer? So, in my opinion, if I was to make a transfer there, I would possibly... I'm not sure if Charlie Taylor is fit or not, but that could be one problem. But if he's fit, then that's fine. Other than that, you need to get rid of DCL for... Wilson is not the perfect one, but you can't change much, right? I mean, you can change all your players, of course. So you can change DCL with somebody like Antonio if you want, and then you can upgrade Son to KDB. I honestly feel that for the double game week, KDB is one of the best options, and you already have one City defender, so I wouldn't tell you to upgrade there. But if you can get Son, a KDB for Son, that could be a decent transfer, not just for this game week, but for the long term. If you had the money, I would tell you to upgrade Grealish to KDB, but I don't think that's feasible. If that's feasible, that's also possible. So you think about your team, Todd. You can upgrade. In my opinion, you need KDB in there, And whether it is for Grealish or for Son, that depends on your strategy. But you can get rid of DCL. He's injured anyway, and you see how you can make it work, my friend. I'm gonna be here tomorrow as well, Todd. I'm gonna be here for the deadline stream. So if you have any doubts, if you have any questions, feel free to join the deadline stream. And for all of you who are watching, we have a Discord group. If you have any doubts about your teams, my friends, you can join the Discord, and there's a Rate My Team channel in there, and you can put your team in there, and there's lots of fantastic people who offer genuine advice and opinion on that Discord channel, and it's totally free to join, no strings attached. So if you just want more FPL, want to talk about FPL with some nice people, try our Discord, guys. Ahmed says, what do you think about Captain Cresswell? Well, I don't like captaining a defender. I know he has two good fixtures, great fixtures, but I feel that still don't want to captain a defender. I can't. I mean, if you want to take a risk, be my guest. But to recommend captaining Cresswell over somebody like KDB or somebody like Salah or these other options, it's just not. It's just not me. If you have a gut feel for that, if you have an instinct, go for that. Todd says I have the money for DCL and Son out for KDB and Antonio. Well, Todd, Antonio might not be nailed on, but even if he starts one game, I still feel that this move could be worth it, right? Because DCL is not playing. Everton have a blank game week, and KDB has a double game week. So, Archie says, is KDB a possibility for me? I don't understand the question, Archie. I'm sorry, bro. Can you just elaborate? Ahmed says, I'm 44,000. Is it worth the risk? I don't think so. No, my friend. I don't think it's worth the risk. Honestly, no. If I was you, I would go for a safe captain pick. KDB could be a safe captain pick. Salah could be one. Cresswell could be an explosive differential. But it depends upon what kind of a player you are. I'm at 180k, bro, and you are at 44k. So possibly whatever you are doing is working, right? So I can't assert in any way, shape, or form that what you're doing is not right. I'm just telling you from my experience of playing FPL for all these years, and from that, I just say that it's better to captain a more premium player who you know is kind of nailed on to score more points. That's all I have to say about that. Guys, I know there are a couple of more questions, but I'll just because I have to end the stream, so I'll take this question from Archie and I'll take this question from Paul, but after that I have to bid goodbye because I have to go think about my team, and I have been streaming for more than 1.5 hours, so but I don't want to leave you hanging, guys. I'll answer your questions. So Paul says, 3 leads on my bench, should I bench boost? Short answer, Paul, if you have used your free hit in game week 18 and you have a good enough team for the double game week 19, I would not be against bench boosting. Even if you get 15 points out of that bench boost, even if you get like 14, 12 points out of the bench boost, I think long term for your team it could be more beneficial, because when you have your bench boost, you always have on your mind, because you want to keep playing players on the bench, right? So that's one question down, and since I didn't get Archie's question, so I'll take Michael's. Michael says, hey Wiz, which is better option, downgrade Kane to Ollie Watkins or Antonio and click for KDB? For a -4, or keep Kane, click out for Foden, Klein out for Diaz? The problem is, my friend, I would like to recommend option 2, but the whole point is, are you sure that Foden is nailed? If you're sure, Michael, if you feel strongly that he's nailed, then I'd say option 2 is better for your team overall, Otherwise, I'd say option 1 is good enough, because Kane has a single game week, and beyond the game week 19, he has a couple of tough games and a couple of easy ones, so that's the thing, And if you want to keep Kane, then you have to be sure that Foden is nailed on. You don't want to be sweating every game week, having such a player. Karthik says, damn, missed the stream. Welcome, Karthik, and no worries, bro. Gonna be here again tomorrow. Not even much time left for the deadline. I'm gonna be here for the deadline stream, and we can have a nice chat over there. No worries, bro. Archie says, Johnston, Martinez, Sofal, Robo, Dallas, Diaz, Stones. Right, you got 2 City defenders. Nice defense, all good. Bruno, Salah, Rafinha, Socha, Grealish. A little bit of a problem here, maybe. Bamford, Antonio, Vardy. Is this a good bench boost? So you've got Bamford, you've got Rafinha, you've got Dallas, and you've got John. I think that's a fair enough bench boost. The same answer applies to you that I gave to Paul. You've got 3 leads as well, so the same answer applies to you, Archie. I mean, if you've used your free hit, I think this would be a good bench boost team. I would love for you to have. Michael, I already answered that question, bro. I already answered it. I hope you heard my answer. I would love for you to have a KDB, Archie. That would be my recommendation. But the problem is I don't see any way to get him except then replace him with Salah. So I can't recommend that either. So other than that, I like your team. I think your team is good for a bench boost. Why not? Why not? That's the problem. That's the question. Karthik says, see you tomorrow then. Of course, bro. I always. Deadline stream is always gonna happen unless I'm some crazy busy. All right, guys. I know I have a few questions. I'll Shopnan, I'll send you your reply, bro. After the stream, I'll send you your reply. Don't worry about it. So with this, guys, on this note, we come to the end of the Gameweek 19 live stream. I apologize if I missed some questions, but I tried my best, and I'll be back here tomorrow. You can come back on the deadline stream and I'll try to answer all your questions about my transfers. You'll get my updates on Twitter and on YouTube. If I make a transfer, you will be the first to know about it, guys. And take care of yourselves in this difficult time. I hope the stream brings, if nothing else, a smile to your faces. With this, guys, FPL Visit signing out. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'll end this stream with a beautiful music for you. Good night and take care. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.